problem with women that they can't handle the truth. Simple.
That's a good paradigm to start from, because it's actually very interesting you say that. A lot of women say, I just want a man who's honest. And then the second you're honest, she's like, what? You did what? It's like, well, then don't ask me for honesty. Of course I fucking lie.
Thank you.
So that's a good point. I agree with that one. I don't think it's the biggest problem, but it certainly is a problem in relationships today. That is a problem. The biggest problem with men today is that I think the world is becoming hyper competitive. Most men are not aware and understanding of how quickly there's going to be a genuine shift in between those who have things and those who do not have things. Not just finances, but also female status, everything else. And it's a status game, right? And it's becoming harder and harder for men to play. And that's all women's fault, of course. But it is, because women choose the winners, right? Women choose who the high status males are. So women pretend to give a shit about men. Of course they don't. They give a shit about themselves.
Facial expressions is viewing right now. What's going on in your head?
Just Tate and the way he says stuff.
We're gonna start this again. Is he wrong or is he right?
I think he's right to an extent, but the way he's speaking is very absolute, which I think is wrong.
Let's continue. So let's hear him out before I dig
Selves.
deep.
And a woman, if you ask her what she wants from a man, she's like, I don't want much. I just want to find a nice man who's a millionaire and 6 foot tall and funny and charismatic and interesting and spontaneous and looks after me and doesn't cheat. And is funny and good looking and strong. I don't want much. Like they name all this shit that most dudes are never gonna have. And it's becoming harder and harder, and you end up with people, top G's, who own everything on the planet they could ever possibly wish for, and then you got other guys who have nothing, and there's this large divide. There's no longer any middle ground. You have dudes who can't get any pussy, and then you got dudes who are just blocking girls left, right, and center. And that's what the problem with being a man is today.
What about the women?
What about them?
I would say...
Well, everybody's got a chance to talk.
I'm going to shut up and have my Clementine.
No, I want to know. I want to learn from you, sir.
You want to learn from me?
Well, I wanted to answer. I feel like it goes for both. It's not just one or the other. I feel like it's self-accountability.
Women are not accountable for themselves.
I'm
I
about to
agree
say
with
the
you.
same shit.
Why just women, though? What
It's
about
both.
men?
It's
Yeah,
both.
It is
definitely both.
It is both. You're right. But society punishes men for not being self-accountable. But society does not punish women for not being self-accountable. I'll give you an example. If you're a man and you're arrogant and you think you're something when you're not, trust me, society will teach you very quickly that you don't matter when you don't get laid and you stay a fucking brokey. If you're a chick and think you're something when you're not, you can run around with your ego, still get dates, still get laid, still have a fairly sensible social life. Society as a whole doesn't come along and slap you in the face with realizations. If you're a man and you think you're something you're not, it is a ticking time bomb until society teaches you a lesson. That's the difference. This is why men in general are more self-accountable, because the men who are not self-accountable get fucked up. So those who are successful are very self-accountable people. They look at themselves and go, okay, the only way I'm going to get and progress further, the reason she left me, the only way I'm going to do better, make more money, et cetera, is I have to change. Most women don't want to do that. They don't sit and think, I have to change. They think, oh, he left me because it's him, and I lost my job because my boss, and this is this because of this. No, you women don't look in the mirror and change a fucking thing.
No, because don't forget what you're...
Ooh, thoughts. Let's talk about it. Let's go. Do women hold themselves accountable?
I definitely think so.
And how so?
Well, I know a lot of girls who like have their own businesses and have to be accountable for that shit, you know, step up every day and all that. And
But do you think that's the majority or the minority?
it's a minority for sure.
Okay.
I do think the majority of women blame their problems on external forces. But I don't think it's like more than half of them. I think it's, I don't know. I don't think it's as many women as he's portraying.
Okay, so you don't think it's more than half women that are not accountable?
No.
I disagree with you 100%. A lot of times that throughout the countless girls I've interviewed, they say pretty much the same things. It's pretty much the man's fault. I rarely hear a woman say, it was my fault, I did this wrong, I should have did this better, I could have been better, I'm sorry, I regret. They don't even, and from doing all these videos, they rarely use words like that. Men, on the other hand, they tremendously use words like that. Yeah, I was fat, I fucking got my shit together. I was broke, I got my shit together. I didn't have no status, I got my shit together. I was bad at game, I got my shit together. Versus a woman very rarely has like self-accountability to self-improvement.
Well, then how are all these women improving then? Because I see tons of women every day that are sharing what they do and how that they can improve and how they can help other people improve. It may not be business or whatever, but fitness, nutrition, mental health, relationships. I see a lot of women pushing other women to do better and to improve on themselves.
Okay, and what do you say is improving on yourself? Give me examples.
Getting your mental straight, getting your physical straight, and your connections with other people, and money.
Okay, but how? Like, how exactly?
How do women?
Yeah. Because this is the question I like to always ask, because a lot of times women say that they self-improving, but the things that they self-improving on are the things that don't matter when it comes to relationships.
Like
maybe
what?
when it comes to life, it does, but when it comes to relationships, they
Okay,
pretty
well,
much
if
don't,
we're
except for
talking
fitness.
in relationships, I mean, most of those things, just improving your overall well-being, I guess, and how you think about yourself, that can definitely improve your relationship or prepare you better to be in one.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, the best relationships are when both people are at their peak capacity that they can be themselves, and then they come together and create more stuff, you know?
Okay, I got them. I get that. Okay, when it comes to women, do you think that they're more so... Let me see, how do I even word this correctly? When it comes to relationships, do you think that they blame themselves for the fuck-ups of the relationships, or do you think that they mostly blame men for the fuck-ups of their relationships?
They mostly blame men.
If that's the case, because
When
that's
relationships go wrong, they mostly blame men.
Thank you. So if that's the case, then how can they be self-accountable knowing that we know relationships. Most people know relationships. It's pretty much 50-50. People doing wrong. I think even studies came out that women are actually cheating on a higher rate than men are, etc. So if women are actually the ones that are breaking up the relationships, breaking up the families, how can you call that, I guess, self-improvement or self-accountability from making those mistakes?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Where my button at?
Well, I mean, like you've said in the past, men usually carry the relationship. They're usually the leader. They're usually more financially responsible.
True.
And so because of that, that could be why the women blame the men more, is because they are they're the follower. Like if all the blame's going to be pointed at them when they're not really in charge, that doesn't make sense. But if the person in charge is fucking up, it's going to make a lot more difference than the person who's not in charge fucking up.
Okay, I like that point. Touche there, Missy. Touche. She's getting older, she's getting wiser. But my counterpoint with that would be, if you don't listen to the captain of the ship, can you blame the captain for the ship going down?
No.
Exactly. So when it comes to these different relationships, when it comes to these different dynamics, etc., a lot of women, they don't submit fully to a man. They question his every move. They don't want to do what he wants to do. They don't submit fully to the man. So can you blame the relationship failing since he's the leader, you say, right? Well, I say too, actually. But since he's the leader and the girl's not listening, hey, I don't want you to have male friends. Hey, I don't want you to go out to girls' trips to Miami. I don't want this, I don't want that, but she does it anyway, or she disrespects him, etc. How can you blame him for that?
Well, I mean, like you were saying earlier, most relationships are more 50-50, you know? And I mean...
I said that?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Relationships
Okay.
are not 50-50. There's a leader, there's a follower.
Maybe I heard you wrong, but...
Okay.
You know, I think that both parties provide towards a relationship in their own way.
I agree with that, yeah.
But, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but that is, like, what you're saying is literally why women blame the men more, is because the men are putting their own mentality onto the women, and they want them to do this, and that. Mm-hmm. And if the woman does not do that, then she would blame the man for putting that on her, making her do that or whatever. So that's why they're blaming them, is because the guy is,
okay,
trying to lead, and maybe if he's not leading in the way they want to, then they're going to push back,
Okay, I got 2 points to that, and then we can move on. Number one, you chose the man. And number two, you chose the man. So number one, you chose the man, meaning as soon as you made that choice, you need to submit fully to the man. And once you make that choice, number of hey, this is gonna be the man that I'm gonna be in a relationship with, that's I'm gonna have sex with, etc. Blah blah blah. So you telling me that he can have sex with you, y'all can damn near have an accidental kid, but he can't lead you in life? That, to me, that doesn't make sense. And number two, like I said, you choose the man. That means if you choose a shitty leader, that means if you was a fucking sales, what do you call them people that be selling? A person that sails on a boat, and then you got a captain of a ship, and you got hundreds of captains, and you say, you know what, that captain right there for that ship, I want to be his salesman for that ship. And you go aboard that ship, you made that choice. If he's a shitty ass captain, that's on you, is it not?
I mean, fair, but you don't necessarily know everything going into a relationship, and people do change. So there are that does happen a lot, and especially if you go into a relationship as a woman and the guy starts telling you, like, you can't wear this, you can't go do this, you can't go these places, can't talk to these people, blah, blah, blah. That could be more than you signed up for, I guess. Or just you weren't prepared for that.
Okay. Truth bomb, and then we can move on.
All right.
Wrong. I'm going to say it one more time. Wrong. You can 100% vet the nigga the proper way. Problem is, women don't vet dudes the proper way. Problem is, they go with their emotions versus logical, making sure they're not red flags, making sure this, making sure that. They don't vet them properly. That's the real reason. And you make bad decisions, and then you hold the other person accountable for your own bad decisions. That's the real thing. Let's continue.
Forgetting right nowadays they can't change it because it's all about body positivity.
Are you
they
saying
can
that?
look sexy at a size 28.
Are you saying Lizzo's not a 10?
Damn. L stream.
The performance was
Bruh.
enchanting.
L stream.
Are you guys trying to get me canceled?
See, I'm not gonna lie, I don't agree with what you just said because 90% of cosmetic surgery is by women. Women are trying to change as much as possible. Men don't want to change. They're not accountable for themselves.
Oh my
They think
God.
that because
How old is
they're
this
a man,
shit?
you're gonna be attracted to them. No, like you can't be fat. You stay at home. You're just playing video games, and you expect a woman to want to fuck you. No, she's not gonna want to fuck you.
Yeah, but then she won't. This is the point. And then she won't, and society will teach them a lesson. They might be able to pull off a little blag with a girl for a year or so, but in general, they're going to end up lonely. In general, they're going to struggle to find partners. I agree with you with the cosmetic surgery thing.
Exactly.
Women are happy to change their appearance and change how they look, but they're not happy to change how they act. Most of them, they're not
Yes,
happy
they
to change. No, they're
are.
not.
The women are changing what the men don't care about. The men don't care about the big old lips.
Yes, they do.
And no, they do it. The women are doing that for themselves.
Yeah.
Because the men don't care about it. The men would rather a woman change her stinking attitude than put on all that makeup and hair and everything. That's what the men want. But the women will go out there like, oh, I'm going to change this, I'm going to change that. If you look at a man...
Is that true?
What?
Do dudes really not care about all the cosmetic surgery stuff?
We
when
do.
they-
I mean, I don't know what she's talking about. She's capping right now. But I want to be very clear. We do when it comes to fucking. We don't when it comes
Okay,
to
well, in a
relationships.
relationship, do you care more about how they look or if they could change their attitude?
I would say more so attitude. Once you reach a threshold of attractionness for a dude, then you like, okay, cool, I can rock with her, etc. If you had a nice, pleasant attitude, you're very soft, you're very feminine, you're very submissive, etc. Blah blah blah. We can deal with a woman for that for a long period of time.
So it's like looks level 1, and then if they got the looks, then it's like personality. And
Yeah,
if they
yeah,
got
exactly.
That, then,
Yeah, exactly. So I do understand what she's saying though, but at the first when she said men don't care about blah blah blah, that's actually false. Men care about that when it comes to who they trying to fuck. Let's be clear. Let's not cap on this fucking show.
And the man said, yeah, he's fat. The man will most, if he's feeling bad about himself, he wants to make something, he'll go and hit the gym. What's the woman going to do? Go and do? Get a BBL, get her lips done, put on her makeup, put on her hair. And
Shots fired right now. Hold on. Because I personally know a homeboy who loves BBLs, and he'll wife up a BBL girl all day long. So, again, what she's saying is false. Men,
If that's
they're
what
very,
you're into.
very, very much care about that.
certainly.
stay.
Huh?
Nothing.
No, majority of men. Especially when it comes to sexual shit.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The big old fat person that she is and say, oh, it's body positivity. The men don't even want that. And the women are not getting all this cosmetic surgery for the men. They're getting it for themselves. You can't turn around. What man wants a woman that's going to turn around, go and have an operation and can't sit on a plane because her ass has been injected or been interfered with? She got to lie there on her stomach. Do you think the men want that? Or wake up in the morning before you got to hit the house. She's got to put on. I'm sure I worried about some of the men because they must go out with a woman And then when they wake up in the morning, they think, who the hell is she?
The scars,
By the time you take
catfish.
everything off, women need to change their attitudes before they change their makeup. I'm sure that even more than
Bars.
that, change your attitude.
Hey, change your attitude, but before you change your makeup. That's barred by Miss Anthony over there.
Needed.
Because women will go out there and they would want to change this, they want to change that. All the things that don't count. If you learn to, the same way how women can go out there and learn to put makeup on, learn to cook, learn to wash by hand, learn to please a man.
That is so
That's what you need to do.
I don't know about wash by hand. What do you mean? Like wash dishes by hand? I'm confused.
Hey, girl.
Yeah, I don't know about
I
that
got
one.
a dishwasher, honey.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but everything else she's spitting. You look.
That's how Tate is.
She old
For
fashioned.
who?
I'm saying it's like we had literally just talked about this off camera when you guys picked me up from the airport when we were talking about what's the value system or the point system for a woman who cooks versus a woman who can suck good dick and fuck well.
But you can cook and suck dick as well.
No, but I'm saying is that Pearl, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but quoting her was that when she interviewed people on the street, that there was more points given to something like a sexual return as opposed to wash dishes by hand. There's a dish.
Oh my God, Brittany. What's your name, Brittany? You so never mind. I'm not gonna attack your character. I'm sorry. I was about to call you a name. I'm sorry. When it comes to interview, you got to understand context and nuance. When it comes to interviewing on the street, guys are not thinking about long-term bitches, right? They're thinking about short-term bitches. So, from their perspective, in their mind, they thinking about short-term shit, which is sexual, which is be the hottest you can be, which is you can suck dick good. They're not thinking about a relationship when it comes to online street
Not
interviews.
if they out, shit.
Huh?
If they outside.
That's what I'm saying. She's saying she got this information because the other girl is on the street interviewing people, asking would you rather have a girl that cooks versus a girl that suck dick good. And you gotta
also.
also.
What do you think they're thinking about on
What?
the street?
That's
They're
what-
not thinking
come on,
about.
yeah.
Oh,
Come
I
on
want
now.
you to cook for me. Nah.
Come on now, and you got to take into account the age of the people that she's interviewing too.
Yeah.
Because I don't know,
Dishwasher. Why cook? We can eat out. There's a chef. People don't give a fuck about that.
That's what they think.
But we literally just talked about this yesterday.
No, it was okay. I did a street interview and I asked the guys, "Would you rather have a girl that gave good head or a good cook?" And most guys
They want
picked-
this.
But I think that's
For
more,
the
I think-
quick
but I think
satisfaction.
that's more for like a one night stand.
But what I'm
versus
trying to say is that
long-term.
if you, all the women out there, and they're talking about, well, some of the women want to be settled down. They want a man. Right? And you got to think what the man wants. The man ain't interested in that. Look at, when you're doing street interviews, you're interviewing single people. Look at the people there that are happily married and ask them what they do. Because all the things that the women out there are doing,
great
you
point.
can be a housewife, you can be
point.
going out, you can suck head just as good as any old tramp on the street. And keep your man, and have a man. And I can say that because I'm 32 years in counting.
Auntie, you can't
32?
say
Wait,
attraction's not
no. Meaning she was 32 years in marriage and counting.
Okay, I was like, Shawty, you not 32.
Damn, you attacking her character.
Nah, just her looks.
You attacking her looks. Is funny.
Not attacking, just.
City boy, city.
Damn.
not.
I'm clipping that.
You can't say attraction is not important, though.
It is important.
For you to
Initially.
get initially, exactly. A man is not gonna find you attractive and then think, because
I've been getting
Bruh,
paid
L-string.
$1,000 a month, if not more,
From OnlyFans,
just
yeah,
from
we get
this
it.
app on my phone.
Yeah, from
you can
OnlyFans.
cook well. It's got a chef.
A man's gonna
Especially
find
a man
Why are you looking
They have
at that?
OnlyFans ads. They have ads for OnlyFans.
No. I was joking. I don't even know what the ad was
Oh,
for.
I was like, bruh, nah, nah.
But they
there's
do.
no
It's called
way.
TikTok. It's called Instagram Reels. It's called all these different things.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
attractive, and he's
Okay,
gonna.
let's ask Andrew.
He's gonna.
Andre, would you be with a girl that's 5 out of 10 because she can cook?
That ain't what I said.
Oh, firstly, that's not what she said, to be
Ooh,
fair.
talk
And
to him.
secondly, I'd be with a 10 out of 10 who can cook
Ooh.
because I'm top G. But
Talk to him.
to make the point, I think what you have to understand is what men are looking for in a relationship. So you did the street interview, and you're asking single people, probably young people, probably idiots who know they're on camera talking shit about good head, all this garbage. It's bullshit. What men are interested in life, not just in their relationship, but in their life as a whole, is status. I don't think most people understand, especially women, how competitive the male world is and how competitive it is for status. This is why men do everything they do. Men buy the faster car, not to drive any faster, because of status. It's why we want a bigger house. We don't give a shit where we live. It's because of status. It's why I want to go to the gym and get big and strong, because of status. Everything we do is about status. It's why I want the better jobs. It's why I want more money. It's why I want to be respected. So what's the number one thing we want our female to give us? Status. That's what we want. So she can give us status by being beautiful. That's one thing she can do. But another thing she could do is if I turn up home and I come home with my boys and she says, I'll cook you all a steak. That's status. That's all my boys going, Ross, you just been out all night and she's here and she's going to cook for all of us and she'll clean up and tidy up. Boom. That's the kind of girl a man's not going to want to lose because it makes him look good. That's what men want. Status. Suck a dick, blah, blah, blah. Listen, dick can only be sucked in so many ways. I mean, let's be serious about this.
Have you had the Gok 3000?
No, this is actually a serious point, right? This is a very serious point because the Western world has collapsed in real time and it's a failed society. And one of the reasons it's a failed society is because of the over-sexualization, especially of females as a whole. If a woman comes up to me and goes, I'll be the best sex you ever had, I am fucking revolted. I don't want the best sex I've ever had. I want you to be pure and a virgin. You should know what sex is. Cook my fucking dinner. Shut up. Don't come and talk to me about fucking sucking dick. It's vile. It's disgusting. I don't want to hear.
What are your thoughts, real quick? See your facial expressions.
I mean, I don't really know how the male mind works, but from what I understand, he's pretty on point.
But what do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you like it? Do you don't like it? Give me some.
Well, I mean, I think he's talking from his own view, especially when he was talking about the woman who would like cook all of his homies' steaks and clean up, whatever. I think that's kind of Andrew Tate's world. I think in the regular world that doesn't happen very often. You know, usually it's both parties doing a little more. Like the dude's just not.
Stop the cap.
I'm just saying, the dude's usually not out all night and then comes back and then his girl just cooks for him and all his homies and then cleans everything up afterwards. Usually, in most relationships, it's more they're sharing the load, I guess.
Sharing the load of what? I want you to be clear.
Well,
of
like,
responsibilities of the household.
Just house responsibilities, and even a relationship, it's just like. If the girl's cooking for everybody, you know, the dude would help clean up, some shit like that. But, like, I'm not trying to be a fucking housemaid, fucking shit.
What's wrong with being a housewife?
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm down to be a housewife, but that don't mean I'm going to be a maid. Like, I'll definitely cook.
Well, no, pause. What are the duties that a housewife would have to do?
Cook, clean.
Stop.
Take care of kids.
Stop.
I'm not saying I'm not going to clean, but if I cook dinner, I expect some help cleaning it up. I'm not doing all that.
Why?
Shit.
Are you helping him with the bills?
I probably will be.
Okay, but that's you. If you were a housewife, your main job, your primary job is...
If I am not myself, if I'm a little housewife, then...
You keep saying little. I don't like this condescending attitude towards the housewife.
It's not condescending. It's not condescending. It's just not me, you know?
I get that.
So if that's what you know other girls want to do, then great. But for me personally, I'd want it to be a little bit more.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball right now, and then we get back on subject. You with your group of girls, and y'all discussing. I don't even know if y'all do this. I'm taking shots. Y'all discussing what y'all actually want to do in the future and shit. And you like, hey, I want to be a computer science, and somebody else says, hey, I want to be a graphic designer. Someone else says, I want to be an accountant, and the other girl says, I want to be a housewife. Would you look at her differently? Mm-mm. Okay, well, I didn't even ask the question. All right. Oh.
Absolutely not.
Sassy, but let's go to you.
Hear that shit?
Can I say
something? What I want is a woman who makes me look good. No woman who's running around talking about sucking dick can make me look good. So I lose interest completely and utterly, and that's the truth. So what she's saying is completely correct. These are old school things, but it's not about the act. Yes, you can order food, of course. It's about the status that comes with it. That's what it's about.
Sagittarius spoken like a true one. That is true.
My man's a Sagittarius.
Listen, well,
my man's a Sagittarius.
So basically, it's a straight shooting sort of conversation. But I think that sometimes we get distracted and we talk about the bicker of between men and women. I think that the problem that men and women have is the consequences of the bad decisions that the 1% of powerful men make on our behalf, because our problems are on a societal level less than between woman and man. That is why there's a lot of competition between men, this chase for status that they will never get.
Why is that the fault of the 1% of men?
Because they're the ones that drive the machine that runs this. The West
it's always been that way.
Yeah, so but then think about the men that are at the top now.
What'd you say?
I said she's so right.
About?
That 1% is affecting literally everybody. What we see, literally just what we see anytime we go on the internet is determined by these people and what they want us to think, what they want us to feel, how they want us to act. Mm-hmm. Everybody's literally been brainwashed through
but it's
all this shit.
So you saying that this is a bad thing, or you think this is a good thing?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of shit on the internet.
That's what I'm saying.
There's a lot of shit.
Yeah, go ahead.
Lot of shit.
Yeah.
I think the internet itself, being able to reach out to people, being able to see stuff going on the other side of the world, I think that is all great. But I think social media in itself has become way too toxic, way too manipulated by that 1%, and especially in America, if I'm gonna be honest. Like,
what do you mean, real quick?
Man,
Explain.
just all this stuff, all the TikTok, Instagram.
But what okay, I get that part. But I'm saying, what about those things that makes it toxic that you were just talking about? Because from my perspective, it's a tool, right? You can create a gun, but a gun is not made to fucking go around robbing people. It's how you use the gun. You can go around saving people, you can go around, robbing people, you can go around doing whatever you want. It's a tool.
Understandable, but most people are not creators like you are. Most people are consumers. Most people, I'd say fucking 90% of people are consumers.
I would actually disagree, but I'm gonna go
Maybe
ahead.
my statistic could be wrong, but I say majority of people are consumers.
That's what I'm saying. I actually disagree with you. I think it's majority of people are trying to be creators. They're just not successful at it. If you go through most people TikToks, they making hella videos. They probably just not getting no recognition. All the girls are doing these thirst traps. All the guys are doing these silly ass dances or making funny videos. Everybody's actually trying, especially here in America. Maybe in other places, not so much. But here in America, everyone is trying to be that person. But that's why I'm just saying I disagree. But I don't want to get off topic. Continue.
No, I get that. I can see how that like people are trying, but most of them don't really get anywhere just because of the algorithm and shit. But I do still think that most people are consumers, and because of that 1% is affecting everything that these people are seeing and all that shit. And I just think that's kind of fucked up.
But going back to my question, I was about to move on, but I have to stay on here for just a quick second. Sorry, fellas. Why? Why is that a bad thing if it's always been this way? Throughout history of time, there's always been kings, there's always been sultans, there's always been emperors, there's always been some hierarchy that's at the very, very top echelon and then literally goes down to the old peasants.
No,
and
I get
pawns,
that. I understand that, but everybody knew who the king was. Everybody knew who the sultan was. Everybody knows who the president is. We all vote for them, or we, support their royal lineage, whatever the fuck it is. But with these multi-billionaire men that are doing all this shit behind the scenes on some Illuminati shit, like, we don't know who the fuck they are. We don't know what they stand for. We don't know who they are. But they are affecting everything. Everything.
Okay. Well, the only thing I can see is what you're talking about, but I do disagree. When you said we don't see what they about, we clearly can see what they're about.
Well, yeah, we can see what they're about, but we can't see what they're actually about,
Debatable. Continue.
The corruption and everything that's going on. And this is why it feels very good to sit next to somebody like you and just say, do you know what? I appreciate that you say things that are really true. You expose a very toxic truth and a very true truth as well that is out there. But the reality is, on the trenches, when you go to the grassroots, people don't feel the way that you feel. It's not as simple as what you say. They are victims of this system. So my job here is really not to try and make it about men and women, is to make you understand that actually we need to start changing the narrative.
You don't want to make it about men and women because
they're both messed up on either side.
Because then women look bad.
No, because it's about everybody together. Women have their traumas, men have their traumas. I'm not here to fight against men and women. That's small.
I understand what you're saying. But the idea that this 1% of men have created this terrible society. Yeah, I talk about that. I talk about the Matrix. I talk about these things. But it's always been this way. It's always been a small elite group of men who are in charge of the world. And unfortunately now, we're fighting battles in different ways. The days of old, a man proved his worth by going to war. Basically, every man at any point in his life was going to end up going to war, and he came back victorious. He came back with honor. He got himself a wife. That's how it worked, right? Now men don't have to go to war as much, depending on where you live in the world, and it's slightly different, and we fight our wars in other ways. And one of the true expressions of testosterone and trying to really express your ability and your combative ability now in the modern world is power and influence. So in the olden days, you'd go to war, you come back with a ribbon. Nowadays, you got X amount of followers, you can move the world with money. I can bend reality with money. Please understand, if I walk into Jimmy Choo, they lock the door. No brokies allowed in. Tate's here. And I buy whatever the fuck I want. There's lines outside because I'm there. I bend the world with money. That's how the wars are now won. So you're talking about high status males, and it's always been that way. Now you have a whole contingent of men who aren't dead. Okay, they didn't die in a ditch, but they're lonely as fuck jerking off. And that's the reality of it. And women don't give a fuck about them. And why should you? I'm not sitting here actually shitting on women in any way. I think women have a biological instinct to a degree to try and find the best mate they can because it gives them the highest chance of survival in the harsh realities of the world. And if they look at a man who's not capable, they just don't feel an attraction to him. And that's the bottom line of it. And that's why I'm largely misunderstood. I don't blame women for a lot of the problems. Women are guilty of certain things, but I have a massive amount of blame to place on men because there's so many men who are genuinely incompetent. If I was a chick, I wouldn't fuck these losers either. Like, they're losers. So it's hard out.
Balance.
It's
I
hard.
love it.
Do you know what I don't understand? Why people are always going for the 1%? All the women want to rush for the 1%. Why don't you just find a regular 9-to-5 person that's going to look after you? You can be his queen. Why can't you just do that? Why is it really rushing? I've got a man, we don't go on social media. If it weren't for Pearl, I want no night about social media. 9 to 5, I've got our own property, 32 years, happy as Larry. What is the problem? It's not old-fashioned. It works.
No, Auntie, let me clarify. When I meant 1% is not the 1% of attraction. I mean the actual people that are in charge of the things that run the world the way that
What
it
I'm
does.
trying to say is that it's always been an umbrella we've lived under.
But the
and men have
difference
functioned underneath it. So why is it going to affect me?
I'll explain why. Because as Sir Mr. Andrew King Tate said,
I want to know
as he said,
I want to know what she's after.
I'll have this one after this point.
She's after. She's going to go home and dry that now. Put it in
Wait, I've been drinking lime juice as well. So, as he very rightly said, society has now evolved. Before men went to war.
That's what?
Look how many fucking limes are in her cup, bro. She wasn't
now
kidding.
men don't go to war. So there's a lot of sense of no purpose that they need to find. And then on the women's side is that the same way that a society evolved, they made men feel less purpose. They have now had to take on bigger purposes. They have to go to work like they didn't have to do before. They have to take care of the family and work.
Tearing up the
and all of
oranges.
these things, and now deal with the fact that men are feeling a little bit like out of, you know.
What's a load of rubbish? That ain't what I'm saying.
No,
you get a 9-to-5 person, right? What is wrong with you going out there, find a regular...
L-stream. And while I'm doing that, what is wrong with women not accepting regular 9-to-5 dudes that make $50K a year, regular average people?
I think that used to be normal. I literally just...
What do you... Huh?
Like, in the past, 1800s, 1900s, women were totally fine with a regular dude, white picket fence, house, kids.
Okay.
That was fine.
But I'm saying, what's wrong with that now?
Social media, literally. Women go on social media, they see all these women, all these dudes with all this money doing all this shit, and they're like, oh, if they're doing it, I can do it, so I want that.
Oh, okay, so you just gave me a curveball. So instead of they are doing it, I want that, is... Okay, hold on. So is it more so they are doing it, I want that, and I'm going to make that myself? Or is that they're doing that, I want that, I want to be with that person versus this average dude?
I think it's both. They want to do that and they want to be that. But in the past, people didn't see all that shit. People just had their own lives. They didn't have the internet. They couldn't go see all these people doing all these things. You know, there were still people doing those things. It just wasn't available to the entire world. Yeah. And now that it is, that just feeds people's greed. They see it, so they want it.
AJ on replay spin. This is the first time in history I actually agree with your shit.
What?
What the fuck? Let's go. Hey, hold on. Bruh. If y'all don't come on.
Regular 9-to-5 person, right?
No, but real quick. I wholeheartedly agree with everything you just said. 100%. It's the masculinity in them. I mean, most women, it's the I want that too. I want to be able to have that for myself. And it's the regular average dudes I'm not attracted to no more because these dudes I can have access to because I can get flown out, I can get fucked by them, etc. So I agree wholeheartedly with what you just said. For once.
Yay.
You can function underneath that because I'm always hearing the women say, oh, we ain't got enough money. We ain't got enough money. Work with what the man's got.
You're right.
Work with what the man's got.
But
You
that's
can
bars.
make a man your alpha. Everybody wants to go and find these top earning money. Find a 9-to-5, work regular, save your money, learn to cook and not have takeouts, and then save your money as they did before.
Then you should direct
this. What do you got to say with that? Because she basically countered what you just said, which is just accept normal dudes, especially a lot of women, they say I want these high echelon of dudes, and then they get cheated on left and right, etc. But yet you don't understand that dating these dudes come with different problems. With a dude that's regular average, you are less likely to be cheated on.
No, I understand what she was saying, and I agree with it. It's just not common at all these days.
Okay.
Not at all. Yeah. Which is sad.
To the men that feel upset because they're not like Andrew Tate.
Always something to the man.
No,
Why?
but she's completely right. I'll tell you this. There's not a girl on this panel or on the planet today who couldn't walk outside and find a man who's going to be nice to her, loyal to her, and make her his queen. Women don't want that. So they'll sit there and go, no, I want Chris Brown. And then they'll go try to get Chris Brown. Then Chris Brown will cheat. And they'll be like, I can't believe he cheated. I'm devastated. Well, what the fuck do you think's going to happen? If I go to the car garage, right, you have to make a decision what you truly want in your life. If you truly want to just find a man who's going to look after you and take care of you, you're going to be his queen, he's going to be loyal, you can find that all day, but you're going to have to settle to a degree where a lot of women perhaps are not prepared to do that. You see how women act. They'd rather chase a fraction of a real G's time than have 100% of the time of a fucking dude who they don't respect at that level. And it's kind of like going to a car dealership. You walk in there, if you want reliability, you can get a Nissan. But if you want to get a Ferrari, it comes with headaches. It's going to come with problems. So when girls say to me, "Oh, you know what, Andrew, you should be loyal to that," men like me don't have to be, and you know that. So why the fuck are you here trying to tell me what to do? Because you know I don't have to be loyal, and all the girls I'm fucking don't have to be loyal. So why are you sitting there pretending you expected me to be loyal when everyone knew from ground up day one it was never going to ever fucking happen? And you're still here.
I think
you're still texting me.
They're going to be the one that changes you.
Right now.
Yeah, of course they are.
That's the biggest mistake that girls make.
Whose fault is this? This is the female decision. They sit there and decide, no, I want this. Cool, then you're going to have to accept he ain't going to be loyal to you. He's barely going to reply to you. That's the game.
They like being cheated. I swear to God, this show has made me believe. I think women like to be cheated on.
I don't.
I swear to God, no, because all y'all ever talk about is your exes that cheated on you. That's all y'all ever talk about.
Ooh, this is bars. Hey, she's spitting right now. She is.
City boy.
All right, well, you said you had a little facial expression. What you got to say about that?
If they talk about it, that doesn't mean they like it.
It doesn't matter. So when it comes to, for me, this is for me, right? If I'm a dude and I've dated a woman and I treated her right, most of my women have, not even most, all of my women I have, why don't, when someone says, hey, what about your exes? Why don't she bring that up of being treated right, being respected, being taken out, etc., blah, 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 versus the dude that fucked her over? Why is your go-to is the dude that fucked you over? Why? I'm asking you as a woman. Versus the dude that treated you right.
I think painful stuff is more easily remembered than good
Okay.
stuff.
Touche.
It just leaves a mark more, I guess.
Okay, touche. But as a man, if you want to be long-lasting in a woman's life, and every time someone brings up, hey, what about your ex? Or hey, but what about this? And you always bring up that toxic-ass ex, what do you think men will gravitate towards to becoming if they want longevity, if they want a girl to be, loyal to them long-term?
You think they're going to start acting like how they talk about their exes? Or like acting like their exes that they're talking about?
Yes.
Just because they talk about it?
It's not even about just to talk about it, right? It's about the whole mannerisms. It's about giving them the best version of yourself. It's about dating those dudes at the best peak version of yourself. When you talk to multiple women and multiple dudes, they always say the same shit. Oh, nice guys finish last. Oh, I treated her right. She left me, etc. On the flip side, oh, I was an asshole. She stayed. I did this. I did that. She still stayed. Blah, 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 blah. So which person would you rather be? The guy that treated her right, that give her, and then she still leaves you, don't talk about you no more, don't fucking hit you up no more, don't ask questions about you, versus the dude that got what he wanted out of it, and then later down in life still has a chance to fuck her, still has a chance to do things.
From a man's perspective, I can definitely see that.
Okay. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. So, going back to Tate's point, if you want to change a man, you have to change yourself, as in all of y'all come together and say, hey, if I want guys to be nice guys or good guys, then we as women need to stop fucking the bad guys. But I don't think that will ever happen. So, carrying on.
We love the bad guys for some reason.
That's my point. No, it's not for some reason. It's because you can't control them. That's why.
Regular women that are on here.
The women that come on the show.
Oh, good thing I'm irregular and extraordinaire.
But do you not think it's because we're not holding men accountable? So when a man, because he's a top G, cheats on a woman, it's like, well, what do you expect? When you should actually turn around to him and say...
Accountable for his natural evolutionary biology.
Is cheating morally correct?
Yes.
Depends.
Yes.
How do you say? How
gotta
do
be
you
joking.
say that? Are you
You're
joking?
okay with your woman cheating on you then?
Absolutely not.
Not.
It's haram.
No, because
Oh, it's a wrap when she cheats on you, but you can cheat on her.
There has not been, in the history of humanity, across any culture, any book, any story, any fable, there has never been across the history of humanity any respect put on the name of a promiscuous female ever.
I went online
Bruh.
and I
Fuck. Got any thoughts before I continue and skip this out?
He's right, but it pisses me off. If you're at Andrew Tate's level, of course you can cheat on your woman because you already have everything you want.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a regular guy, I do not think that you should cheat because that just breeds an unhealthy relationship, no matter what you say about it.
Okay, I have a different disposition. I would say it's hard. It's this because it's
Be
twofold.
careful what you say right now.
No, why? Why is that? The fuck?
Because
She said. No one's scared of you. Anyway, carrying on.
I beg to differ.
Okay, buddy. When it comes to this situations, I do understand what he's saying, that when you are a high status person, when you have a high likelihood of status, money, etc., about looks, etc., that you can pull off having multiple women. The only thing I disagree with, but it's only like a half disagreement, is the word itself, cheating, because that implies that you going behind someone's back. That implies that you not telling them the truth, etc. And for me, I have two opposing things. One, on one side, I understand that you probably don't even want a woman that is accepting of you cheating. You probably don't want a woman that is okay with you cheating, because what kind of woman is that? A good woman that'd be cool with you cheating?
It's against our biology.
But that's my point. So, on the other hand, you lying about it and you still doing what you need to do, but she still gets with her. I understand that too. So I'm just saying I understand both sides of being.
I understand what you're saying, but it's just so toxic, bro. It's so toxic.
How is it toxic? You getting what you want, I'm getting what I want.
I don't think relationships should be about what you can get from the other person.
That's cap. Oh, we about to get into psychology
I
now.
I understand.
Oh, I'm about to say, yeah.
At the
Thank you.
beginning, especially, it's about what you can get or what you can see yourself getting from that other person. But once you've gone past the point of, okay, I know what I can get from you, you know what you can get from me, let's build something together. I think at that point, it just becomes toxic.
It's always like that. It will always be a continuous transactional thing, whether it's very open and upfront or very behind or underneath certain things.
Okay, fair.
So if you was in a relationship and a girl got super duper fat, again, now you're like, oh, I'm unattracted to her, I don't want to be with her, blah, blah, blah. And most women will actually still try to stick that shit out. It's same thing if he got broke, or she's in a relationship with a dude and he got broke, and she don't see him coming back from being broke. She's going to be like, all right, I'm losing respect, I don't want him to be my leader no more, blah, 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 go to another dick. So it's always transactional. Relationships are literally always transactional.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Period.
I think communication should be more pushed in this space.
As in, like, what?
Just because all the narratives that Andrew Tate says, it's what he says from my perspective is pretty toxic.
What is one thing he said?
No. Just listen.
I'm listening. Sassy.
I think
Sassy.
I think it would be less toxic if communication was promoted more, because I think that could solve a lot of issues between men and women if they just communicate about shit.
Okay, pause. Is a podcast not communication?
It is.
Thank you. Is a video talking about these different topics not communication?
It is.
So,
I'm not talking about that type of communication, though. I'm talking about communication between the man and the woman. Not this, oh, I'm going to lie to her and do whatever I want. Mm-hmm. And then, oh, I'll still get what I want out of her. She still gets what she wants out of me. But they're still lying and, going behind each other's backs and shit. But if they talk about it and can agree with something, be on the same page, he's like, oh, I'm paying for all your shit. I'm going to smash the bitch if I fly out somewhere. I'm going to smash her. It don't mean shit. You're still my woman, blah, blah, blah. If they agree, that's great. But I don't think the lying and shit is.
I'm sorry.
It depends on the girl. It depends on the girl, I guess.
I'm sorry. Let me do this.
Wrong.
Because here's why. Everything in life has pros and cons. Everything, right? So if you are a dude and let's say you're idealistically, you're very honest, upfront, You were a high status dude, but you're very honest upfront. And then you tell the girl, hey, I'm going to do exactly what you said. I'm going to travel to Dubai and I might fuck a bitch or two. Guess what happens? The girl is slightly, maybe even more than slightly, more likely to cheat on you because she knows that you're doing it. Exactly. And that can kill the whole relationship and all the family you built, the kids that you have, the insurance you have together, etc. Versus you lying about it and you getting what you want and she getting what she wants. I'm saying this is pros and cons to everything.
You got me there. You got me.
I'm saying there's pros and cons to literally everything. Yeah. So I get what you're saying that in a perfect world and we could be honest and y'all could accept it and every woman can accept it. Be like, you know what? My man cheats from time to time, but I know he doesn't emotionally invest in bitches. He don't pay for shit for bitches. He comes home to me, etc. Blah, 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 blah. I'm cool with that. Most bitches are not like that. Let's keep it a buck. Most bitches in their mind, it's like, oh, he's going to do that? All right. As soon as I get a chance or an inconvenience, I might do the same.
All right, but what if the girl's going behind his back and lying to him?
What?
What if the guy...
Then that relationship is over. That shit done.
Well, yeah, but what if he never finds out? Just like she's never going to find out. Everybody's still getting what they want.
No, not true. Because he... Oh my God. I don't even want to have to go so deep into this. What he wants is what?
Loyalty.
Exactly. And from a woman to him, what is that?
Not cheating.
Thank you. That's what he's getting, what he wants. So if she cheats...
Same shit for a woman.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Want her man
I disagree.
cheat.
No.
You literally just said most women would not want their man to cheat.
No. I said that, but I didn't say that was primarily the one thing that is at the top of the list that they want from a man.
Okay.
I think that from the top of the list, and correct me if I'm wrong, because obviously you're a woman. I mean, I don't know, because who knows? Anyway, but from a man, if you didn't provide security, I would think that's higher on her list than you fucking another woman.
All right, yeah, fair.
So, if that was the case, you not providing security and then she leaves, I can understand that, etc. Blah blah blah. But going back to the original point is you coming to a relationship, your job as a masculine man is security and provisioning. Being loyal or being faithful is just added to the top of that. Your woman, as a woman job, you being not fucking other dudes is your primary thing that you bring to a relationship.
All right, I got you.
Thank you. Carrying on.
Put into Google, fast tracked into becoming a teacher. A
Bro,
4-year
these
degree
ads.
Ever. You name the biggest conquerors that you can possibly name from history. Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great, all of them. They all had 100 wives, bunch of children, big G, conquered the world. Normal. That is normal evolutionary biology. That's how men are designed to be. There's never been a single female who's been celebrated for her promiscuity ever in history. It's always been frowned upon and disgusting. So yes, we are completely different. Yes, it's different if a woman cheats on a man. And if a man is at a complete top level of his
raise your hand if you're everyone talking this video, okay?
Life and ticks every single box. And if he decides to be loyal, which some do, and I can be loyal, and I have been loyal, but there's also times in my life where I think, fuck it, I don't want to be, and get a new girlfriend every single day of the week. I can do that, and I can decide to do that. If a woman decides to do the same, purely because her value is high enough to attract so many males, because she's beautiful, for example, it is completely different. And I'm going to explain to you why it's completely different, so buckle up. It's different. It's different. It's different. Well, I'll tell you why. It is impossible for a female to be promiscuous on a long enough period of time without devaluing herself, because she is fucking people she shouldn't be fucking. There is no way she is sleeping with endless men, and all of them are either high-value men or treating her the way she should be treated. If you find a woman who slept with 50, 100 dudes, she's either fucking dudes which aren't at her level or haven't worked hard enough to try and get the pussy. She was just too drunk to realize he's a loser who plays video games. Or she's fucking a top G who barely texts her back. So either way, she's fucking dudes she shouldn't be fucking, or a guy who's at the level who doesn't give her the right amount of attention. For a woman to find a guy who's truly on a level, who truly treats her the way she should be treated, that's once every couple years, if that. You ain't just gonna go out there fucking a new dude every week and say, yeah, he's worth pussy. Yeah, he treats me good enough to get my pussy. Da-da-da. And you know what's funny about the universe? It's actually beautiful about the universe because it's equal and opposite forces. When you devalue yourself, it's kind of like men can smell it on you. They can just look at a bitch and go, oh. And that's the way it works. So you have to be very careful as a female and sit and go, does this man truly deserve to fuck me? And if you think about it, the answer 99% of the time, especially if you're promiscuous, is no. So when a woman is sleeping around with all these men, she's devaluing herself. She's devaluing herself, and the world knows, God knows, the universe knows. When a man does it, he doesn't devalue himself at all. That's just the way it works.
Can I ask you a question? Wait.
Yeah, he's spitting on that one.
1 second. So, may I ask?
So I
Hey,
actually
raise your hand. You want to?
no. So I was watching.
She get triggered too.
I was watching Too Hot to Handle. Have you seen that?
I think I've seen a long time ago. Go ahead.
And they were having like a workshop, and this lady came to them, and she said that every man that a woman has sex with, so apparently like our uteruses / vaginas are like absorbent, and we can literally like absorb the energy that a dude puts into us when we fuck them. Do you think that's true?
I don't know.
Like
That's
if
hard.
a girl is fucking a bunch of shitty dudes, then that's gonna have some degree of effect on her, especially if she's fucking a lot of them. Because he was saying like, oh, they can smell it, you know, like they can smell if a girl's a hoe or some shit like that.
Yes.
Like, you agree?
Well, that part, yes, I agree with that 100% because it's mannerisms. It's not necessarily the how can I even explain it? It's the mannerisms that come with that. Yeah. Just like if you're a dude that makes a lot of money, it's your characteristics, your mannerisms that come with making a lot of money. If you're a dude that get a lot of bitches, it's your mannerisms and your characteristics that make you can see that you get a lot of bitches. It's the same with a girl that's promiscuous as fuck, that's a hoe, that's a slut, etc. There's mannerisms that you can very clearly tell, hey, she might be a hoe. Clearly. Yeah. But go ahead. But I don't know. I just can't buy into the whole spiritual shit yet. You know, maybe I'm not just informed about it.
You'll get there.
Oh my God, I'm not spiritually entwined.
We'll
but
get you some crystals. I'm not even that bitch. I can't even be talking about that shit. I don't know shit about that.
I don't know, so I can't speak on that.
Ask you a question. What would you say if a woman now is married to 2 men?
What?
Haram.
What the fuck?
No, I'll tell you why. Let's talk about this. What is the difference between a man, let's say me, I have 4 wives, right? What's the difference between a man having 4 wives and a woman having 4 men?
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time.
You can impregnate the 4 wives at the same time, and we know who the parents are, right? So let's say you had 4 pregnancies, you know who the mother is because she's carrying the baby, and you know who the dad is, top G. If you had a woman with 4 men and she gets pregnant, who's the parents?
What about if...
No, I'm asking.
Okay, I ask, what if they're different races?
Answer the question.
Now, modern science can come along and maybe fix that for you, but that doesn't mean it's not wrong in the eyes of God. The idea of having a family, the idea of a child being born, one of the baselines for a new life to come onto this planet is for at least to understand who the 2 people who made it are, at least. If you have a woman fucking 4 dudes, you don't even know who got her pregnant.
So may I just say...
disgusting.
Wait.
Have you seen the twins that had 2 different dads?
Oh yeah, I saw that. May I just say something then? So if that is the case, yeah, if the one thing that you're meant to have is you at least you know who the 2 people that put that child on earth are, then that's why promiscuity for men is also a problem, because they get women pregnant. Sometimes they don't even know they have children. That's haram, no?
No, it's completely different. It's different because you have to understand.
I see you shaking your head. Go ahead. Speak before you...
I mean, I can see both sides. But from what she was saying, like if a bunch of dudes are fucking all these girls and they don't know who they're getting pregnant, I mean, if they're not even at a place to be a dad, then that's honestly the woman's problem, because it was their decision to have sex with them, and in the end, the woman is usually responsible for the child. So.
But that's not even the point. The point is that even if you're a dude and you're fucking a lot of women, it's on the woman. So if you're a woman...
That's what I just said.
Oh, okay, yeah. No, but you just kind of go into a different thing. But if you're a woman and you are not fucking a lot of dudes, you know who the dad is because you know who you fucked. Yeah.
Talking about humans. You look at humans from a societal perspective, but society has changed, right? So let's say 200-300 years ago. If a woman got pregnant, she needed a man to survive. If that man didn't take care of her during pregnancy, she was going to die. She couldn't work a job. She couldn't hunt, couldn't fish, whatever, right? A woman literally needed that man for survival. So if you were to come to me and say, I'm pregnant, but you've been fucked by 4 different dudes, I'd be like, who says it's mine? Why am I looking after you? None of them want to look after her. She will literally perish. This is why in most of the world today, Still today, virginity is so coveted, and throughout all of history it's been so coveted because that's the only way to ensure paternity. She's a virgin, I know that's my baby. She ain't a virgin, prove it's mine. Outside of this modern science bullshit, Shaitan, the devil we have here in the West, in most of the world today, without virginity or at least a low body count or at least anti-promiscuity, you can't tell that that's your baby. So it's a completely different thing. You're looking at the idea of a woman being pregnant and coming to a group of men and saying, one of you has to take care of me and put up with me when I'm fat and moody and annoying and I need my bills paid. And all the men are going to sit there and go, no, fuck no, prove it's mine. You can't prove it, bounce. Where it's different. If I get 4 women pregnant, we know the deal.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So obviously back then for survival.
Okay, we can pause right here and end right here. What are your overall thoughts so far of the whole video that we watched? Do you still have this disposition against Mr. Andrew Tate there?
I mean, no. As I've watched him more, I've come to understand him more and also appreciate his traditional views, because for me growing up, I was always like my mom telling me what to do, but I didn't understand why. You know, like I didn't understand why she didn't want me having sex.
Why the women needed a man at the
I never understood like why I needed to wait till I was married to lose my virginity and shit like that. But you know, just hearing him talk from how it was hundreds of years ago, it kind of puts shit into perspective, like how kind of misconstrued we are now as society.
She's evolving, fellas. She's evolving. All right, and where can they find you?
AJ on replay.
All right, if you enjoyed this little debate discussion, follow. If you want to get Red Pill and Chill, it is on Amazon.
Buy that shit.
It's on redpillandchill.com, or just go to Amazon and type in Red Pill and Chill. Other than that, let me know if you want to see part 2, and we out. Peace.